Welcome to the 360 Pulse podcast, the show where we explore the latest innovations in immersive technology, real-time situational awareness, and the future of panoramic imaging. I'm your host, Jennifer Sertle, VP of Marketing at Circle Optics, where our mission is to deliver situational intelligence for a safer, smarter, more immersive world. Today's guest is someone who's been shaping the future of autonomy through policy leadership and practical innovation, and is also a friend of mine, John Cohan. John is a longtime drone advocate, Civil Air Patrol instructor, and former president of AUVSI Empire State Chapter, with a background in audiovisual production and a passion for public education. John has spent years advancing FAA safety standards, mentoring drone pilots, and supporting community-based applications of uncrewed systems. From underwater submersibles to aerial search and rescue, his legacy reflects deep commitment to service, integrity, and the collaborative growth of New York State's drone ecosystem. John, it's a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jennifer. It's exciting to be here.
That's great. So you've had an impressive career in audiovisual service and have successfully transitioned into the drone industry. What inspired that shift? And how has your background in audiovisual services helped your perspective as a drone industry consultant and leader?
Well, it really was about learning during my transition. I was always fascinated by the art of video production, which is very integral to AV services. So aerial photography seemed to be the way to go. During my time as president of my own company, Dynamic Aero Drone Systems, I knew I had to play to my strengths. However, in contrast, I love the idea of mapping volumetrics, but I was not GIS certified. GIS, for those who are not sure of the acronym, is Geographic Information System, which is a whole discipline in itself. Drones are used to produce product for the client. So just want to make that clear. I was fascinated by that. I really was. But in any event, I relied on others to try to sell their goods and services and make a commission. At that time, there was a lot of pushback from the general community that thought any kind of drone work was a strain on their privacy without knowing the rules. They seemed like they didn't care or have the time to learn these rules unless they thought possibly it could help their business. So there was so much pushback. Looking back, it was just not worth it unless one had deep pockets to survive. And Jennifer, I, for one, did not. So much of my time was spent teaching the public, from one-on-one sessions to community chamber of commerces, towns, governmental towns, etc. You name it, I was there. This was exhausting and not very good use of business time to generate income. But I found out it was necessary because there was so much misconception about drones at the time. By the way, there still is. But back there, it really was ridiculous. And I guess I'm going back to about 2017. Well, then it was time to move to my strengths, which was AV production, and started to use it for aerial photography and stayed there for a while. But ironically, still much pushback. I learned a lot for sure, Jennifer. I really did, this whole transition. But it still was not profitable. Moving forward, the most rewarding time for me is now. I am retired. I work with the Civil Air Patrol, as you mentioned. It's all volunteer work, but I'm able to apply what I've learned from my journey, starting with my Part 107, to its practical application. I had an opportunity to direct ground teams from manned aircraft and to lead teams using drones for search and rescue exercises. I am also, as you said, a drone instructor and a drone check pilot for CAPS, SUAS students, testing them, evaluating them, etc. So That's kind of where I'm at with that question.
Yeah, no, I think what I love about what you're saying and the industry, you've been in it since 2017. I joined in 2022. Circle Optics has been in it really since 2020. The drone industry still has so much storytelling to do on the life-saving applications of it. It isn't just delivering, coffee and all these little cute ways that you see it. It really is technology that is serving in such special ways, which kind of I want to lead to the way John and I met is actually through AUVSI. And for those that aren't familiar, that's the Association for Uncrewed Vehicle Systems International. It is the world's largest nonprofit membership organization dedicated to the advancement of uncrewed systems and robotics. And John has been serving as the president of the region. And I would love, one of the reasons we wanted to have him on the program is that we're going to be introducing very soon a new leadership team. And I wanted an opportunity to hear about your tenure as president of the AUVSI Empire State and your primary goals and how you approached fostering collaboration across the state and also nationally. I know that you've built a lot of bridges.
Yes, absolutely, Jennifer. I actually raised through the ranks quickly as a leader, replacing the sitting president after I joined. Then we found you. I was so happy.
Thank you.
Yes, you thank God, because you were the support system that I needed at the time. However, all I promised AUVSI National was when I became president was that I would restart the Empire State Chapter as a 501c6 and get it off the ground and get it to a working entity where then it could be passed on to other people who were interested. But what AUVSI gave me was a chance to meet very involved, educated people throughout the nation via virtual meetings and trade shows who wanted to see this industry thrive. And I got to tell you, Jennifer, there's a ton of them out there. There still is. Really dedicated people. And I found a home. Now that I'm leaving my AUVSI home, I have opportunities in Massachusetts in search and rescue, and the AUVSI New England chapter. And I love it. See, my wife and I moved from Long Island, New York, to Massachusetts. And they accepted me with open arms, both Civil Air Patrol and the AUVSI New England chapter. I'm very happy about that.
That's great. And you've built, I think of, for anyone that's working on uncrewed systems, that's within, definitely in New York State. And we really invite you to join AUVSI. And we have an advocacy unit. We have had the president, Michael Robbins, on our program before, and he's regularly at the Hill advocating. You and I got an opportunity to do some lobbying on the Hill, and certainly don't do it alone. And we've built through you, John. We built great bridges with the Denver AUVSI, the Massachusetts AUVSI. Where's Lamar located? And Adrian, can you do a little shout out for both of them?
Sure. Lamar Ellis, Atlanta, the chapter. Adrian Doku is the Texas regional chapter.
That's awesome. They're just we're just a great community, and the future of emerging technology is really today in that space. But we're going to talk now about
Jennifer.
Oh yeah,
Jen. May I just say one more thing about these gentlemen and the rest of the crew?
Absolutely.
These people are great. Okay, they're a wealth of knowledge. I lost count how many years Adrian's been in it. But what's wonderful about these people at that level, they are so into it and know so much, but they're willing to share. And that's the best thing about this. If you're learning what's happening in other regions, even if it doesn't apply to your region, it's important information. and these people are ready to share.
And I think that why that's so important is that, John, through your relationship building, you've really created a portal to the United States through not only national, but like the regional boots on the street, people that are doing programming, educating. It's really wonderful. And I'm sure that bridge will continue to be strengthened on its own. But talking about advocacy, what I hear from you constantly is education and advocacy, and then community. Yeah. We've talked about the community. Yeah. Let's talk about advocacy. From your vantage point, what are the most pressing advocacy priorities for drone and uncrewed systems, in particular for New York State?
Yeah, I'll start like what you mentioned before at the top of the program. AUVSI's own Michael Robbins, who's the CEO, advocates for all drone activities, from commercial, remote aviation drones, to sky taxis, marine autonomy, to industrial autonomy, both in the military and civilian ecosystems. What I just said is really important because at that top, Michael gets to see a lot and really gets to communicate our vision. Now that vision is very important because he has brought a light in Congress about the importance of autonomous technologies. We on a state level have to convey these same messages locally. It's really a top-down effect. And the county as well as township level. All the levels. You said this before in the program. It's not done by one person. It's many people. It takes a village. There's no doubt about it to get this information through. This is a huge task, and we need interested volunteers to make it happen.
Engagement, participation is certainly the way. How can we best ensure alignment with FAA, UTM protocols and broader national policies? I also would like you to tell everyone what UTM means, just because not everyone's going to understand that acronym, including me.
Sure. That's okay. That's been going on for some while. Phase 1, phase 2, all kinds of good stuff throughout the years. But let me get to the top of the question. There's really two words: communication and education. We've said these words constantly through this interview, and that is the key. And that's what Michael does. Now, when it comes to UTM, there are different companies out there vying for position, no doubt about it, with gobs of money behind them, to really create a system, a safe system called unmanned traffic management, or UTM. The bottom line, it's about deconfliction of aircraft, autonomous or not. Safety is the key. Number one, we got to get the word out. Think about deconfliction of aircraft, land, sea, working industry inside of buildings where people are working alongside robotics that are autonomous. We look at UTM about aviation, and that's where we concentrate UTM, but UTM should be used all over in every aspect of our business.
That's great. Safety. And again, the two words, John, is communication and education. Empowering local business. You've emphasized helping network business associates and recommended the right companies for the job. And I love that. Like with emerging technology, we actually need new skill sets, and it's going to create new jobs. Can you share a bit more about how you see your consulting role supporting the growth of the local drone business?
Well, by default, and I'm not really blowing my horn, but I've been in this for a while. And I'll even go back. I've been in this since 2000. With the AMA, which is the Model Association, and flying aircraft remotely. And so I really have 25 years of education in this. But I decided to put that into a business in 2017, right? So with my vast educational experiences through the AMA and AUVSI and Part 107 and everything else that goes with it, It's all about communicating to the local drone businesses who are interested in this technology. Why? They've got to be educated. They got to know the rules, and they got to play by the rules. That's really important. There's businesses out there that are possibly flying without knowing rules. The bigger businesses probably already know and very involved, but their small businesses might not know this and can cause confliction in our airspace. So, no matter what is stated in the news or public opinion, from search and rescue to UTM commercial services and beyond, companies will have its place in these aviation ecosystems as well as marine and industrial. And the interested parties will need to be in the know. It's that simple.
And I think that leads into community engagement, because being in the know means being connected. Can you talk a little bit about what it looks like for you to have engagement in the drone industry? What are some important skills you've learned to build those bridges that you were just talking about?
Well, companies who are involved in aviation or any kind of autonomy, even if they make small components for the vehicle, are important to communicate. Let's talk about the small components, the motor, right? A motor for any one of these vehicles. They got to know what parameters are needed to be used technically to launch a particular payload with a particular amount of props or propellers. They need to know this. They need to know technically what's going on before they can even go to the public. So it gets really down to the science. And, systems have to be put into place, like local regional events, to get this message across on, yes, education, communication, on the technical level, right, of building the equipment, and then the usage of this aircraft or marine instrument. Both are separate disciplines, and they must keep being separate disciplines, because there's always that yin and the yang. Well, what do you need in this system? Well, I need this in that system. Well, how does this do? Well, this performs terribly. I need this in that system. So it's a give and take between the two communities. So I think that's just important to understand.
Absolutely. And if someone asked me, describe John Cohan in a word, I would say passion. You're a very passionate person. And you're particularly passionate about the FAA compliance and safety protocols. So I want to know, what advice would you give an emerging drone operator and businesses in our region to help them build a culture of safety and compliance?
Well, yep, I am passionate. There's no doubt about it. People say that all the time. I guess I love it, right? Really been into it for 25 years, so how can I not? It's in my DNA. But safety first, learn that there's no excuse for being unsafe. Even if the drone goes rogue, there are ways to deal with that. Even when the drone goes rogue, safety first, learn that. Next, regulations. Play by the book. No exception. The minute you start taking a shortcut, you become a target personally, and then the industry gets targeted, because they don't want to know if you know technical or if you know aviation, or if you know. It's a bad thing when bad things occur, and they don't care. The news does not care what education you have or how much communication you have. They just know the end result, and that looks bad for all of us in this industry. So regulations, play by the book, no exception. Look, this whole thing is a long haul of education, even before your first flight. I'll go back. I started with the AMA, the Association of Model Aeronautics, right back in 2000s. And 25 years later, I really got involved in real world activities. This is a thing I learned about safety and compliance, and there's no doubt it's number one.
And, again, you've been in this before it really was popular. Now it's popular so much that it's being regulated. Let's look at the future. Looking ahead, what emerging trends or opportunities in the drone and UAS landscape are you most excited for New York in particular?
Well, that's an easy question. Thank you for throwing one at me. It's a great question, but easy. Sky taxis. I love the idea of transporting people from place to place at a cost not more than a road taxi. This is their goal. Maybe in the beginning it'll be a little bit more expensive, but the prices will come down as this technology grows. So learn about sky taxis. You might find it might be your new vocation. You might find this might be an interesting business to get into. You might find new listeners to this that, oh my God, let me look into this. I love it. And in 10 years, you're either flying them or you're controlling them, or you're an owner of and CEO of a company that actually helped introduce sky taxis. So learn about them. They are here now. They are here now. And they're going pretty well in Europe. We have regulations. They're going pretty good in Europe and in China. All right. We have regulations. That's another discussion. That's a whole podcast.
It's a different program. Okay? Let's stay focused.
Different program. Let's stay focused. And like I said, they're here now. And it's changing the course of aviation. So.
Wow. That's where I just did my first ride in Waymo. I have not yet driven in a sky taxi, and I'm not sponsored, and Circle Optics is certainly not sponsoring this company, but I do want to mention Joby Aviation. They are supporters of AUVSI, and in terms of tracking the industry, they are growing, they have jobs, and it is industry. And I don't remember the company. AUVSI's Michael Robbins actually last week did his first ride in a sky taxi, but I don't remember the company he was with. But I think that's an important thing to take a look at. And what that means, it'll be easier for me to visit you. That makes so good.
You come to Massachusetts, come down to Westover Airport. I'll pick you up.
I appreciate that. It will happen. It will happen. And in addition, we really, as a state, Empire State, want to position itself as responsible and innovative drone integration. What are some ways that we can better position ourselves as an innovator in the drone integration space?
Yeah. Well, like I said before, follow the ever-changing, I want to emphasize that, ever-changing rules. There's always updates, always things to learn, and then we got to inform our government what we learn, okay? Communicate and educate on all levels, from cadets in a squadron or a technology or in STEM programs, wherever, right up to senior members and beyond. Because, you might engage a senior member has terrific business skills and been there, done that, and could merge with a technologist and create a business that can go far and far-reaching. So, again, communicate and educate on all levels, really important. My suggestion, whoever you are leading this charge, get paid for it. Get paid for it. Establish yourself where you can get paid for this knowledge. This knowledge is not free. This knowledge is very important. This knowledge pushes us into the future. Why would you give it away?
Thank you for that, and I will include your LinkedIn in the post so people can connect with you through LinkedIn, which I think probably is also a very good place. And of course, you can always contact me as well. Before we close the program, John, I just wanted to thank you for your leadership. I was really appreciated your mentorship and, appreciated going to the Hill with you and really learning how you are just such a great communicator and great collaborator. So on a personal level, I've really enjoyed working with you. Is there anything else you want to say before I close the program?
It's all got to do with your landscape, from agricultural to gas and or electricity. Pick your lane and stick with it. Be an expert. That's really important. If you're new to this game, study and learn. If you're old or new, make sure you're communicating the message with honesty and integrity. And by closing, Jennifer, I want to congratulate and encourage the new AUVSI Empire Chapter Executive Board to keep it running strong with exciting events that can be executed across the wonderful state of New York.
I think the neatest thing about leadership is being able to leave and have the entity healthy even when you leave. And I think you've created a great template for us. And on a future program, we'll be introducing the new team for Empire State. We really wanted to keep this program about you, John. Thank you so much. At this point, I'd like to express gratitude for our partners and supporters helping make this podcast possible, including the Institute of Optics, Genius New York, Luminate Accelerator, AFWorks, Cider Technologies, Archangel Imaging, and of course, AUVSI. A special shout out to Scott Fitzgerald at RockVox Studios. RockVox Studios is celebrating 7 years, and I've been working with Scott for 5 years. I just think it's remarkable. He ensures that conversations reach you with the highest quality. At Circle Optics, our mission is to deliver situational intelligence for a safer, smarter, more immersive world. This podcast is one of the ways we bring this mission to you by highlighting the voices, technologies, and ideas shaping the future of autonomy. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to 360 Pulse Podcast and stay tuned for more conversations at the intersection of immersive technology, innovation, and real-time situational awareness. You can always reach me at Jennifer at Circle Optics and connect with us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Blue Sky. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future guests. Thank you for being here.